Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Community Enrichment Fitness Network's Focus on Fitness, where making healthy choices creates healthy lifestyles. I am the Reverend Jesse Brown, your host and board president of CEFN. And on behalf of Sherry Hill, our director and founder, we want to thank you for tuning in with us on this show of Focus on Fitness. Today, I have with me Gwen Foster and Walt Williams. Both of them are part of the 40-Day Journey program. You told us about the principles of the 40-Day Journey. What else is important for us to know about this 40-Day Journey?
Oh, one of the important things is for you to know that it works.
That it works,
And
yes.
that's why we invited Walt to be with us today, because I met Walt, oh goodness, back at probably in the mid to late 80s, and he and his wife would come to a seminar that I would have at the headquarters of the place where I worked, Pine Forge, Pennsylvania, and they would listen to the lectures and ask questions, and so they developed a real healthy interest in becoming healthier.
Well, you know, a lot of times people say things work. And of course, we've got millions of claims out there in the media about this diet pill and this fad and this, you know, whatever you want to call it, works. How do we know this works, as you say?
Well, this is where the rubber meets the road. Walt and his lovely wife, Geraldine, they would listen and they would implement, but not totally. And then in more recent years, Walt faced some health challenges. And that's when he decided, let's do what we know to do. And Walt, you want to tell them how well it worked for you?
Well, you know, the 40-day diet just really was fascinating for me. And Gwen, like you said, I went to your seminars, and they was just so interesting year after year, till I became so involved with it. My wife just started changing our way of eating. And yes, I got real sick. My wife, she just didn't like the way I was looking. She said I was turning gray. Can you imagine me turning gray? So she said, "You're sick, something's wrong with you." And it was at that time that I went to the doctor. They told me I had a heart problem. And then I really got into my fruits and vegetables and nuts and grains and stuff. And
More water and exercise?
look,
And more sun?
and let me tell you something. When I was over 30, I actually ran for 5 miles, and I had never done that as a teenager. And I actually ran for 5 miles, and I just couldn't believe my own self. And I just thank God for that opportunity. But as far as the 40-day diet goes, it's fantastic, and it works.
Which of course is plant-based, and there's research for that, so
Right.
we don't even have to, to
No,
try
but
to sell
what
anybody else.
fascinated me, though, was the notion that it wasn't just you by yourself, but it was you and your wife. Now, that
Exactly.
kind of goes to the first principle,
Get
set
a
of
buddy.
principles, get a buddy.
He married his.
Yeah, that's right, he married his buddy.
Because she cooked, I had to eat the way she cooked, you know.
But speaking of cooking, they did so well. He invited me. He became the health director at his local church.
Okay.
And a leader as an elder, and he invited, well, actually, when I was in the mayor's office, we were looking for facilities, especially faith groups, because they had lovely facilities, and the North Philadelphia Seventh-day Adventist Church had a beautiful new kitchen with a little, not big auditorium. That was the perfect site. So I took one of the programs from the mayor's office to the North Philadelphia Seventh-day Adventist Church, and Walt and his wife were in attendance there. And of course, were hosting us. But what happened was they got more active until he became a certified chef in red, because we were doing that.
Okay.
We were certifying, providing skills for even lay people.
Right.
And today he's one of our chefs, our leading chefs in our 40-day journey, and we call them chefs in red. He has his hat and his apron and everything.
And that's important for people to know, that when they become part of the 40-Day Journey program, there are many places that they can participate in sharing the good word about the 40-Day Journey. The Chefs in Red is, of course, one area of that. And, of course, another area is becoming a leader in their own organization or church or synagogue or wherever it happens to be, to also present the 40-day journey in that process. But I still want to get back to this other question because, and I think it's an important question, whenever we begin to go on diets and when we start thinking about trying to become healthy, a lot of us try to think about doing it all by ourselves. And in this case, he had his wife. And she had to also change behavior because she had to cook differently. And she had to do something differently to create a healthy lifestyle in your household. Am I right with that?
You're absolutely correct. Because when she cooked, I ate and it was good. And in turn, she even showed me how to make something because she got more interested in health before I did. But then she started showing me things, and I just took over. I just took the ball and ran with it.
And this is so important because here in minority communities, you know, we have the highest incidence of everything that there is.
Right.
Here, Walt now had already tasted that with heart disease.
Right.
And so now he's a leader in his community. And when we share something, and this is what I try to teach everybody who comes to one of the programs, you just don't come for the entertainment. And it's entertaining when you have the cooking classes and we feed everybody
Right.
at the end of every
Yes,
class.
I know. I've
You
been
know
there.
that.
Yes, I do.
But you internalize these principles when you share them with someone else. So I tell them that as soon as you learn something, you don't know that you really know it or that you have internalized it until you can share it effectively with someone else. And now he's doing his own cooking classes, with or without us,
With or
and
without
without
us.
us.
Reverend
Yeah.
Brown, when I first met Gwen, she was actually doing cooking classes herself. Then she turned me on to Sister Juanita Alexander,
Okay.
where she was doing cooking classes. And then Janetta would come in sometimes in place of Juanita. And I just picked up on what they were all doing, and that's where I developed more of my skills as far as cooking goes, especially the plant-based.
So now he's one of our most trusted chefs.
Well, it just goes to show that becoming healthy also allows you to grow your own personal skills
Right.
in areas
Yes,
that
it
you
does.
did not have. But there was one other thing that I picked up from what you were telling us, and that was you didn't get it the first time.
No.
Or even the second time,
No, it
or
took-
even the third time.
took years.
It took a while
Yes.
before the whole idea of a healthy lifestyle and what it means for me kind of sunk in. And I want to raise that point up because, you know, a lot of people try and they fail. They try and they fail. And the point is that if you keep going, you're going to learn something
Exactly.
about a healthier lifestyle. And that's what the 40-day journey allows people to do, is to continue to come back and gain new knowledge and new possibilities. And that's, you know, that's I think it's an important message for people to kind of learn. Don't give up.
Reverend Brown, when I had got real sick and I went to the doctor, I was almost 200 pounds. The doctor wanted me to come down to 166. And when he started explaining the diet, I said, well, I'm already doing that. And I actually, right now, I'm down to 170, and I stay right between 170 and 175 pounds.
All right.
But he included exercise every morning.
That's right. I know.
I go to a wellness center 3 to 4 times a week.
But he leads a walking club. We have walking clubs.
Yeah.
And he leads one on weekends.
Oh, well, it just goes to show that if we follow the plan, if we can follow this 40-day journey, not only can we lose weight and live a healthier lifestyle, but
keep it off,
we can
too.
live healthier. And we get to do things that we otherwise, you know, we kind of slough off and say, well, I don't want to do that because that's too high, that's too many steps to go up, or that's too far for me to walk. Living healthy opens up lots of doors for
Yes,
us.
it does.
Thank you, Gwen and Walt, for sharing with us the benefits of your 40-day journey. And I'm glad it was a successful program, and I think it will be a successful program for others. You can find out more about Gwen and Walt and the 40-day journey at our website at www.cefn.org.